personal pronouns in German. Personal pronouns. Ich means I. This is first person singular. Du means you. That means informal, somebody that you know, your mate, your friends, your family members. Second person singular. Then third person singular, which is he, which is let me make it like this. Let me make it like this so that you don't confuse it. I means each. You, which is second person singular in English, means do. This is informal. For people that you know, informal means somebody that you know, you are familiar with. Third person singular, which is either he, which is he in German is er. Then she is sie, and it is what? S. You understand? These are third person singular. Now, you now come again. We. Wir. This is first person plural. Wir. It's the word wir. Remember, W is pronounced like what? V. Then we now have another you again for plural. That means when the people you know, your mate, they are more than one, and you want to address them as you now use what? Ear. Say ear, just like ear. This is informal plural. And this is informal singular, one person, when you're addressing one person. But if there are more than one, then you now use what? Ear as your you. Now, we now have sie. In German, S is pronounced as Z. When you see a vowel in front of it like this, it becomes what? Z in pronunciation. So this Z is you informal. Is you what? Informal. It's formal. You understand? We now have another Z again, meaning they. Meaning what? They. So the nature of the sentence will tell us if you are referring to Z, one person, or you are referring to Z like they. You understand? The nature of the sentence you are making will not tell us that. Let it not bother you. This is how the personal pronouns are in German. I means what? Ich. You means do. He means what? She means what? Sie. It means what? X. We means what? Wir. You means what? Er. For informal. When there are more than one. Z is also you, formal, either singular or plural. And then Z meaning what? They. Also in German. So now, what differentiates this Z from this Z here is from the verb. The verb will now tell us this Z, okay, this Z you are talking about, you are referring to she. And this Z, you are referring to you or they. The verb differentiates that for you, which brings us to verbs and their conjugation. Now you've learned the personal pronouns. Now let's go to the verbs and their conjugation. Verbs and conjugation. All the German verbs always end in en. For example, the verb heißen, in the infinitive form, it must end with what? En. Heißen, this is the verb to be called. Let's say kaufen, this is the verb to buy. The verb to buy. Machen, the verb to do. Now, how do you conjugate a German verb? To conjugate a German verb, you must follow this pattern. First of all, let's say for instance, machen. We are going to conjugate machen. We want to conjugate machen, which is the verb to do. Remember, to do is in infinitive form. It's machen, to do, that is in infinitive. The first thing you do, number one, the first thing you do is you remove the en at the ending. The en at the end, you remove it. So if I remove en from this machen now, I will be left with what? Mark. This mark is called the stem of the verb. This is the stem of the verb. The stem of the verb. Mark. I've removed the en. That's the first thing you do. Now the second thing you do now is you now start adding these endings. That's the formula. These endings now you add it to this mark to get your conjugation to the person, to the personal pronouns for each person, for do, for s, which is he, she, it, and for wir, which is we, and for er, which is also you, and for zz, which is either you in formal or they in plural. You understand? Now, what do you do? For each person, when you're using each, you want to conjugate your verb to each person. What you add to this mark, which is the ending, is e. For do, what you add is what? St. Just know this formula. For he, she, it, which is e, z, and x, what you add to the ending is t. For wir, which is we, what you add to the ending is en. For er, what you add is what? T. And for z and z, you, they, what you add is what? En. What do I mean by this? I want to say this is the verb to do, and I want to say I do or I am doing. Now, mark. You will now say each. This is your stem. Your stem is what? Mark. What do you add to it? You add what? E, which is ish marking. Ish marking. Which means I'm doing or I do. Now, do. You bring down your stem, which is what? Mark. What do you add to the ending? St. You now add what? St. This is do maxed. Do maxed. Now, for he, she, it, what do you add to their ending? Is what? T. Z, X. You now say mark, which is your stem, you add what? T. Which is marked, he does or he is doing. Z, marked, she does or she's doing. X, marked, it does or it is doing. Now, we do. Wir. So when you bring down your stem, you add what? En. You say, wir machen. We do or we are doing. Now here, you bring down your stem, which is what? Mark. You add what? T. You say, ihr macht. Now, Z and Z, you, they. You bring down your stem, which is mark. You add what? En. So, Z machen, you do or you are doing, they do or they are doing. So the context will tell us if you are referring to you or they. Now watch. Z, their own verb is what? With en. Whereas in she, the verb ends with what? T. You see the difference now. So when I say sie macht, I'm talking about she. So if I say sie machen, I'm talking about what? You or I or they. So this is how you conjugate a verb. Now, let's take another one now. Kaufen. Kaufen. This is the verb to buy. This is the verb to buy. Kaufen is the verb to buy. Kaufen, to buy. This is the verb to buy. Now, kaufen, the verb to buy. We said the first thing you do is you remove the infinitive ending, which is what? The en. You knock it off. When you knock it off, you'll be left with calf, which is your stem, which is now the stems. Now let's go. Let's go. Each. So if I didn't have the stem, which is calf, I will now add what? E. Each calfing, which means I buy, or I am buying, or I am buying in English. You understand? Each calfing. Now, if I say you buy or you are buying, which is now do, you will now say what? Do, you bring down your stem, which is calf. You add what? St. Do calves. Do calves. You buy. You buy, or you are buying, or you are buying. Now, for he, she, it, which is z, x. You bring down your stem, which is what? Calf. You add what? T. Calved. He buys or he's buying. Z calved. She buys or she's buying. S calved. It buys or it is buying. Now, via. You bring down your stem, which is calf. You add what? En. Via calving. This one is he, she, it, buys or is buying. Via kaufen, which means we buy or we are buying, or we are buying. Now here, you bring down your stem, which is what? Calf. You add what? T. Here, calved. You buy. That means more than one person. You buy or you are buying, or you are buying. Now z, you bring down your stem, which is what? Calf. You add what? En. That means you / they buy or are buying. So this is how you conjugate a German verb. This is how you conjugate a German verb. Now, in the comment section, conjugate this verb for me. Heißen. Heißen. As assignment number 1. So that we are going to learn something from it. And I will be doing the correction. You understand? Now, the next phase is teaching you the alphabet, the German alphabet.